Good evening. Welcome to SLU News 22 on this Thursday evening. Wednesday's SGA meeting focused heavily on the Martin Luther King Scholarship. Vice President Provost and Director of Enrollment Management Boyd Bradshaw noted at the top of the meeting, reports U News reporter Kristen Miano, that every student that receives the MLK Scholarship will receive a minimum of $13,000 a year, and that award is stackable. SGA President Michael Harris and Senator Chris Eccles also gave a presentation on the Fixing Little Things initiative, which was first discussed last week. Harris stressed that the plan is more than just about facility complaints and that it was for any concerns that students may have. Additionally, a bill to address the protocol for dealing with discrimination on campus passed without opposition. If you're feeling the pinch of higher tuition costs, you're not alone. 69% of Americans feel that college costs have spiraled out of control. 54% say that the schools could spend less and still maintain a quality education, a new survey says, that was released yesterday by the National Center for Public Policy and Higher Education in San Jose, California. For more than 20 years, the cost of college has risen more than health care. This academic year, the average price for public four-year anniversary in tuition and fees is about $7,000, up 6.5% from last year, according to the College Board in New York. Private schools average $26,000 a year, up 4.4%. It's time for charter student organizations to submit their budgets for the 2010-2011 academic year. U-News reporter Allison Riley reports that there are some changes to the process. Budgets are due on March 15th. There is a new buddy system where every CSO is assigned a buddy that is a person that helped the organization navigate the CSO budget process. The length of each hearing is being changed from 30 minutes to 15 minutes, with the meetings being taken over one weekend instead of two in previous years. Missouri students crowded into a Senate hearing room yesterday to testify about a bill that will make drastic changes to how the state divides scholarship money. A story both the University News and SLU News 22 first reported on last academic year. The Student Education Committee is hearing a bill that will alter the state's $95 million in Access Missouri scholarship money that is allocated to public and private college students. If passed, the bill would provide $2,850 to students at both public and private universities and would go into effect in 2013. The Missouri Coordinating Board for Higher Education voted 5 to 1 on February 11th to support the current scholarship amounts. When we come back, President Obama defends the economic stimulus bill after passing it a year ago, and a Colorado senator is leading the charge on adding a public option to health care reform bill. So stay with us.
The images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools destroyed. Families searching for loved ones. Parents trying to feed their children. But we can all do something. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. Donate $10 by texting Haiti to 90999. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Thanks for your help.
Welcome back. President Barack Obama defended his $787 billion stimulus bill on Wednesday as part of an effort to convince Americans that the stimulus has been beneficial on its one-year anniversary. In his speech, Obama stated that he believed that the stimulus will save or create 1.5 million jobs in 2010 after saving or creating as many as 2 million jobs, and tried to convince many Americans that the stimulus had the effect of keeping the U.S. economy from plunging into a second Great Depression. The president has set up a task force to deal with the growing federal budget deficit. The task force is expected to report by the end of the year on what steps are necessary to reduce the deficit to 3% of the gross domestic product. The current deficit is expected to climb to 10.6% of the GDP this year. The task force will include Erskine Bowles, the former chief of staff to President Clinton, and Alan Simpson, a former Republican senator, will co-chair that. The U.S. budget deficit in September 2009 was $1.415 trillion and expected to grow to $1.56 trillion this year. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet, the Democrat from Colorado, is leading a new charge to have a public option added to the health care reform bill and cites 4 reasons to save the public option in the bill: saving billions of dollars in costs, a need to increase health insurance competition, the previous use of reconciliation to pass a health care legislation, and continued support by the public for an alternative to private health insurance. The Senate has bypassed the inclusion of a public option, instead expanding health care to decrease the number of uninsured Americans. Crystal Gail Mangum was arrested by Durham, North Carolina police after she allegedly assaulted her boyfriend, set his clothes alight in the bathtub, and threatened to stab him. Police have charged Gail with attempted first-degree murder, 5 counts of arson, assault and battery, communicating threats, and 3 counts of misdemeanor child abuse, injury to personal property, identity theft, and resisting arrest. Mangum in 2006 accused 3 white members of the Duke lacrosse team trapped her inside a bathroom where she was allegedly raped and assaulted. Pakistan has captured 2 more leaders after the Afghan Taliban, Afghan officials revealed earlier today. Mullah Abdul Salam and Mullah Mir Mohammed were shadow governors of the Afghani provinces of Kunduz and Baghlan. The capture of Mullah Salam is considered significant as he commanded the Taliban in northwestern Afghanistan, was mastermind of attacks on German forces based in Kunduz. The 2 men were detained 10 days ago by Pakistani intelligence agents in Quetta, the capital of the Pakistan's southwestern province of Baluchistan. Malaysia has caned 3 Muslim women convicted of adultery by a court of Islamic law, the first time women in a multi-faith country have been subject to the punishment. A similar sentence was issued and later deferred the punishment of a woman caught drinking after a flurry of complaints that Sharia courts had overstepped their boundaries. Her punishment is still pending. A ruling coalition in Malaysia led by a Malay Muslim party has suffered a steady fall in its popularity and has been trying to use Islamic issues to keep its base. Protest in Malaysia over the use of Allah by a Christian newspaper or more in a series of religious issues in that country. A bomb blast in a mosque in Pakistan's northwest tribal region has killed 29 people, including some militants, earlier today. The attack in the Khyber tribal region happened as U.S. Special Envoy Richard Holbrooke met with Pakistani leaders in the nation's capital of Islamabad. The bomb explosion wounded 50 others in Akka Hills area of Khyber. Officials are investigating whether the explosion was caused by a suicide bomber or a planted device. During the briefing with press in Islamabad, Holbrooke would not give specifics and would not answer attempts linking U.S. efforts to negotiate with the Taliban or an ongoing U.S.-led offensive in southern Afghanistan. Nicolas Sarkozy, visiting the earthquake-ravaged Haiti, announced a financial aid package of over $500 million yesterday. Sarkozy is the first French head of state to visit a former French Caribbean colony. The support package includes the cancellation of 56 euros of debt, 100 million euros of fresh funds to be provided over 2 years, and 65 million euros to be channeled through the European Union. The French government has said that the supply of 1,000 tents and 16,000 tarpaulins to shelter the 200,000 homeless people during Haiti's rainy season, which begins in late March. More than 200,000 people were killed and over 1 million were left homeless by the quake, which has triggered a massive international relief effort and reconstruction plan. When we come back, the color pink shows up in fashions in an unexpected place. We'll tell you more after the break, so stay with us.
The images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools destroyed. Families searching for loved ones. Parents trying to feed their children. But we can all do something. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. Donate $10 by texting Haiti to 90999. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Thanks for your help.
Welcome back to SLU 22. Meteorologist Meghan Dwyer is here with a weekend outlook. We've been hearing about a lot of snow in that forecast, Meghan.
Well, Kareem, you are right. We are currently monitoring 2 storm systems that could head our way Friday and Sunday, both delivering a wintry mix of precipitation, but nothing too severe, and we'll get to that in just a second. However, right now we're looking at our overnight conditions. Increasing clouds overnight, a temperature of 20, nothing too severe, calm winds. It looks pretty calm overnight. But the action will head our way on Friday. As you can see, we have this low pressure system sitting out to the southwest of us. Friday, that's going to move our way. It'll be sitting in southern Missouri, and that will probably hit St. Louis with a wintry mix of snow and rain. We have warm air advection, so we are not expecting too much snow, more rain with this system. And heading into Saturday, we have a very similar system, a little more intense. That'll head our way Sunday. And as you can see, again, we have that big warm front delivering us with warm air, which is going to keep us in the snow-rain boundary instead of mostly snow. So stick around because we will, into the weekend, have more of an idea of how much accumulation we can expect with that. However, for Friday, you're going to wake up to 21 degrees. It's going to be chilly, so make sure that you have your coat with you as you head out to class, and skies will be cloudy all day. At noon, you can expect the temperature to pop up to 34. That wintry mix could begin, but it won't be too severe until later into the afternoon. At 4 p.m., we're going to hit our high of 38, and again, those clouds stick around and winds are light out of the east. And by Friday night, you can expect your temperature to cool off a little bit, 35 degrees, and that wintry mix will really start to pick up in the evening, so be on the lookout for that. And as we look at our 7-day forecast, we can see the two highlights once again are those storms heading our way Friday into Saturday. That will end probably by noon on Saturday, and then the storms will pick up again on Sunday into Monday. But once again, it'll be more of a mix than snow, so nothing too severe that we're looking at just yet. And heading into the next week, you can see conditions are pretty mild, cloudy skies most of the days, and temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. So that's what you can expect heading into the weekend and into next week. And I want to point out that these temperatures are about 10 degrees below normal, so St. Louis is pretty chilly for this time of year, so make sure to stay bundled up. That's what you can expect. Thank you, Kareem. Back to you.
Thank you, Megan. As always, you can keep up with the latest weather conditions on our website, SLU-TV.slu.edu/weather. PPR, the French company that owns Alexander McQueen's fashion label, says it will continue that brand. Francis Henry Pinault, the president of that group, stated in a press conference. McQueen hung himself in his London apartment last week, apparently distraught over the recent death of his mother. The label has 11 boutiques and employs 180 people worldwide. The label is part of the Gucci Group, which PPR owns. In a statement to the press, the Gucci Group stated that it is providing logistical, financial, and human support to the label and is working hard to continue the brand's growth. McQueen rose to become chief of designer of Givenchy in 1996 and created his own label, winning 4 British Designer of the Year awards. Gucci purchased a majority stake in the label in 2001. The National Trust in the United Kingdom is deciding whether to purchase the famous Abbey Road studios where the Beatles recorded most of their albums. Record label EMI put the building up for sale, which is struggling with the debt burden of private equity group Terra Firma's $5 billion takeover in 2007. The National Trust already owns the childhood homes of Sir McCartney and John Lennon's homes. The trust acts as a buyer of last resort, bidding for properties that would otherwise go unsold. John Gosselin and the cable network TLC have settled lawsuits that they filed against each other. In October 2009, Gosselin was sued by TLC for breach of contract, citing him as an exclusive employee of the network. TLC felt that he violated his contract by taking money to appear on other shows without permission. He was also accused of allegedly playing a reality show outside of TLC's permission. Gosselin responded by filing a $5 million claim against TLC, arguing that the network was making him go broke and damaging his reputation. TLC released in a statement. Said in a statement, TLC has reached a settlement with John Gosselin and will be undertaking procedural steps to conclude the litigation. All terms of the settlement are confidential. The whole Gosselin family will remain under contract with TLC. Menswear is expected to take a more casual turn this fall, where designers showcase new men's fashions at New York's Fashion Week. The incorporation of colors other than grays and blacks and white striping are supposed to give a more wearable feel, part of a continuing trend that started on the runways in Europe. This year's Fashion Week showcased designs that were more practical as opposed to more common attention-grabbing creations that are usual fare at Fashion Week. The continued casualization of menswear can be contributed to the rise of popularity of Casual Friday. There were a few surprises in the menswear camp, which seemed to be closely mimic women's wear with color injections such as pink. Where there is more fallout from Google's launch of Google Buzz last week, privacy concerns have caused changes to be made to the social networking management add-on to Gmail, Google's email service. Numerous complaints about the privacy implications have forced Google to make changes. Now Google is facing a class action suit that was filed in federal court today in California. The lawsuit is filed on behalf of Eva Hibnick of Florida, but includes all 31.2 million Gmail users. Google Buzz was rolled out to most of Gmail users last week. Google has made several changes to make it easier to opt out of the service and to make contact links private and remove the following to make it private. Antitrust regulators in the United States and Europe have okayed the search alliance between Microsoft and Yahoo, which will see search units of Microsoft and Yahoo to merge. Under the agreement, Yahoo will outsource its search to its websites and Microsoft's Bing search engine. Yahoo will not stop researching and improving its search experience. Microsoft and Yahoo unveiled their plans to the search alliance alliances on July 29, 2009, after months of negotiations. Under the pact, Microsoft's Bing search will power search queries, and Yahoo will manage sales for both Yahoo's and Microsoft's internet platforms. AT&T unveiled its first Android phone today, called the Backflip, which is in stores on March 7th. The Black Flip can be purchased for $99 after a mail-in rebate for $100 with a 2-year agreement. AT&T is marketing the phone as the best of social networking on what it calls the nation's fastest 3G network. The phone gets its name from its hardware design. The phone, when closed, shows both the keyboard and the screen. The phone can be flipped to lay flat or placed in a V-shape shape that allows it to be used as a stand. When we come back, we'll have sports, so stay with us. Welcome back. The Billiken baseball season starts this weekend. The Bills will travel to Little Rock, Arkansas for 4 games in 3 days at Little Rock's Gary Hogan Field. The first game is tomorrow at 11 a.m. where they'll take on Arkansas Pine Bluff. On Saturday, they'll play St. Peter's College at 10 a.m., followed by a game against the University of Arkansas Little Rock. It concludes on Sunday with an Arkansas Pine Bluff game again at 10 a.m. Dan Hendrickson is leading the Billikens in his 3rd season as coach with 2-year record of 54-54. 17 letter winners from last year's squad that went 30-25 overall and 12-13 in the A-10. In that group are 3 of the Billikens' top 4 hitters. Our senior first baseman Danny Brock with a .336 average with 15 doubles. Ben Bratton with a .335 average and 8 homers, and Zach Miller with a ‘324 average and 10 homers and 61 RBIs. This year, the Billikens will be looking to achieve back-to-back 30-win seasons for the first time in program history. Billiken basketball is on a roll, winning its come-from-behind win at Chaffetz Arena last night with a 62-57 win over Rhode Island. Kwame Mitchell scored 11 of his team-high 13 points, with 4 players scoring double digits. The Bills, that are 17-8 and 8-3 in the Atlantic 10, have won their 5th straight. With 6:12 to play, the Bills were down 51-49 and went on an 11-0 tear for the win. St. Louis was 52% from the floor, with Kyle Cassidy going 5 for 6. On the women's side of the basketball, Lauren Wood scored her career and St. Louis high 27 points with 18 in the second half, and the Billikens' 11-point win over Fordham on Tuesday night, 71-60. The Woods was 9 for 11 from the floor, and Catherine Hester contributed 16 points and 8 for 10 from shooting. SLU pulled away with an 11-0 run in the second half. The Billikens return home tonight at Chaffetz to play Charlotte at 7 p.m. When we come back, a woman's BlackBerry saves her life. We'll tell you more about that, so stay with us.
The images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools are destroyed. Families searching for loved ones, parents trying to feed their children. But we can all do something. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. Donate $10 by texting Haiti to 90999. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Thanks for your help.
Lastly tonight, it's a very, very lucky Ohio woman. Her BlackBerry saved her life from a bullet. The police say a 22-year-old woman was sitting at a restaurant while her boyfriend was playing with a handgun. When he tried to put the gun in his coat, it went off, shooting his girlfriend in the leg. Luckily, she had her BlackBerry in that pocket, and that stopped the bullet. She was left with a pair of torn jeans and a busted phone, but police say she's very lucky to escape with her life. The woman is escaped danger, but her boyfriend's in trouble. He faces a third-degree felony for bringing a handgun into a place that serves liquor. And we thank you for joining us tonight. You can follow us online at SLU-TV.SLU.edu, and on Twitter you can keep up with the news from our content partner, University News, at unewsonline.com. This is SLU News 22, and we'll be back here on Monday.